The neon signs of Port Avalon flickered against the perpetual twilight of the colony moon, casting purple and green shadows across the weathered streets. In the corner booth of the Starfall Cantina, Aliana sat alone, her scaled fingers wrapped around a glass of Terran whiskey that burned far less than the shame she carried. She was magnificent and terrible to behold, a Dracari warrior standing 7 feet tall, with crimson scales that caught the light like polished rubies, golden eyes with vertical pupils, and vestigial wings folded tight against her back. Her kind had ruled the Andromeda cluster for 10,000 years, but she would never see her homeworld again. Exile, the word tasted like ash in her mouth. Aliana raised the glass to her lips, trying to drown the memory of the tribunal, the accusation in her clutch mother's eyes, the way her own people had turned their backs when she refused to burn the human settlement on Kepler 442b. The Dracari code was absolute. Orders were sacred, mercy was weakness. She had shown mercy. Now she was nothing. "Excuse me, ma'am." The small voice cut through her brooding. Aliana looked down to find a human child, a girl of perhaps 8 standard years, with tangled brown hair and eyes the color of Earth's sky. She wore a faded jacket 2 sizes too large and clutched a stuffed animal that might have once been a bear. "I'm not interested in whatever you're selling, hatchling," Aliana growled, turning back to her drink. "I'm not selling anything." The child climbed uninvited onto the bench across from her. "My name's Emma. I'm looking for a mom." Aliana's golden eyes widened. "What?" "And a wife for my dad," Emma added matter-of-factly. "You seem nice. Would you like to apply for the position?" For the first time in months, Aliana felt something other than despair, pure, bewildered confusion. "Child, I am a Dracari warrior. I have killed more beings than you have years. I am exiled from my people, alone in the universe, drowning my dishonor in." "So you're available," Emma's face brightened. "That is not," Aliana stopped, studying the strange little human. "Where are your parents?" "My mom died when I was 4, cancer." Emma said it simply, without self-pity. "Dad's over there." She pointed to a table near the bar where a human man sat hunched over a datapad, his right arm ending in a prosthetic from the elbow down. "He sat a lot. The war, you know." Aliana knew. The Terran-Zarathi conflict had ended 2 years ago, leaving broken soldiers scattered across 100 worlds. This colony moon was full of them, veterans trying to start over, to forget, to rebuild. "Your father allows you to wander bars propositioning strange aliens?" Aliana asked, incredulous. "He's distracted, he gets like that." Emma swung her legs under the table. "So, are you interested? I can introduce you." "Absolutely not." Aliana drained her glass. "Go back to your father, little one." Emma didn't move. Instead, she tilted her head, studying Aliana with unsettling perception. "You're sad too, I can tell. My teacher says sometimes sad people need each other." "Your teacher is a fool." "She's actually really smart. She says I'm perceptive." Emma leaned forward conspiratorially. "I saw you save that Zelthari kid last week, when those drunk miners were pushing him around. You picked them up by their collars and threw them into the trash compactor." Aliana's scales rippled with surprise. She had thought no one was watching. "You pretend to be mean, but you're not," Emma continued. "That's okay. My dad pretends a lot too. He pretends he's fine, but he has nightmares. He pretends he doesn't miss Mom, but I hear him crying sometimes." Her voice softened. "We're both pretty good at pretending." Something cracked in Aliana's chest, a fissure in the armor she'd built around her heart. This tiny human with her too large jacket and profound sadness saw through her completely. "Emma," the man from the other table approached, his weathered face etched with concern and embarrassment. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. She's going through a phase." He was handsome in the way of humans who'd lived hard lives, maybe 40 standard years, with gray threading through dark hair and scars that spoke of battles survived. "John Castellan," he introduced himself, offering his biological hand. Former Marine, now trying to make an honest living running a repair shop. Really sorry about my daughter. Aliana stared at the offered hand for a long moment before shaking it. His grip was firm, unafraid despite her claws. Aliana, former flame warden of the Drakari Imperial Legion, she paused. Now just, Aliana. Recognition flickered in John's eyes. You're the one who refused the burning order. I heard about that. The Drakari command wanted to execute you, but the Human Colony Council intervened, gave you asylum. They should not have bothered. I disagree. John's voice was steady. You saved 2,000 lives. My sister and her family lived in that settlement. Aliana's golden eyes widened. I did not know. How could you? John smiled sadly. But thank you for being brave enough to say no. It was not bravery, it was weakness. My people. Your people were wrong, Emma interrupted. Just like the people who started the war Dad fought in were wrong. Adults are wrong a lot. John laughed, the sound rusty but genuine. She's not wrong about that. He looked at Aliana with something that might have been understanding. Look, I know Emma's been bothering you. Can I buy you a drink? As an apology and a thank you. Aliana should have said no. She should have returned to her small apartment, to her solitude, to the slow death of purpose that awaited exiles. Instead, she found herself nodding. That first drink led to a second, then a third. John talked about the war, about losing his arm saving his squad from a plasma grenade, about the nightmares and the phantom pains. Aliana spoke of the rigid hierarchies of Drakari society, of being raised to conquer and dominate, of the moment she looked into the eyes of a human child, a child not unlike Emma, and could not give the order to fire. Emma fell asleep against Aliana's side sometime during the conversation, small and trusting and impossibly brave. She likes you, John said quietly, looking at his daughter with such fierce love it made Aliana's heart ache. She hasn't. She doesn't warm up to people, not since Sarah died. She is a remarkable hatchling. She is, John's voice cracked slightly. I'm trying my best, but I don't know if I'm enough. How do I teach her to be? To be the kind of person her mother was, strong and kind and... You are teaching her, Aliana said firmly. She sees your strength, your kindness, your refusal to let grief destroy you. Some days it nearly does. Yes, Aliana understood that intimately. Some days the only thing that keeps me alive is spite, refusing to give my clutch mother the satisfaction of my death. John laughed again, and this time it reached his eyes. To spite, then, he raised his glass. To spite, Aliana agreed, clinking her glass against his. That night became the first of many. John's repair shop was struggling, and Aliana discovered she had a talent for heavy lifting and intimidating customers into paying their bills. Emma started visiting Aliana's apartment, doing homework at her table while Aliana prepared meals with recipes adapted from both their cultures. Slowly, without planning or permission, they became something that resembled a family. It was Emma who made it official, 3 months later in her characteristically direct fashion. They were having dinner, Aliana's famous Drakari spiced noodles with Terran vegetables, when Emma looked up from her plate and announced, I've decided you're my mom now. Aliana nearly choked on her food. Emma, that's not how. And you should marry Dad, Emma continued undeterred. He likes you, I can tell. He smiles more, and you like him too. You get all flustered when he compliments your cooking. I do not get flustered, Aliana protested, her scales flushing darker red in a way that absolutely proved Emma's point. John, to his credit, looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him. Emma, we've talked about boundaries. Do you like her or not? Emma demanded. John met Aliana's eyes, and something passed between them, recognition, understanding, the shared knowledge of what it meant to be broken and slowly healing. Yeah, he said softly, I do. Aliana, Emma turned to her, do you like Dad? This was madness. Aliana was a warrior, an exile, a creature designed for war and dominion. She had no business pretending she could be part of a human family, that she could be soft or domestic or... She looked at Emma's hopeful face, at John's gentle smile, at the life they were offering her like a gift. "Yes," Aliana heard herself say, "I do." Emma pumped her fist in victory. "Excellent, then it's settled." It wasn't quite that simple, of course. There were legal documents, cultural mediators, raised eyebrows from both human and alien communities. But 6 months later, Aliana stood in a simple ceremony wearing a dress that had been specially tailored for her wings, watching John struggle to contain his emotions as Emma, their daughter now, legally and in every way that mattered, beamed from the front row. The Dracari Empire sent no representative. Aliana's clutch mother did not acknowledge the message she sent. But the Human Colony Council came, and John's sister with her family, and the Zelthari child Aliana had once protected, now a young man who brought flowers. When John kissed her, gentle and reverent, Aliana felt something she had thought lost forever, belonging. That night, after Emma was asleep in her room with her stuffed bear and her collection of starship models, John and Aliana sat on their balcony watching the stars. "Do you regret it?" John asked quietly. "Everything you lost?" Aliana considered this carefully. She thought of her homeworld's crimson skis, of the power she once wielded, of the respect and fear her name commanded. Then she thought of Emma's laughter, of John's steady presence beside her, of the warmth of a home that was hers not through conquest but through love. "No," she said finally, "I regret nothing." John took her clawed hand in his. "Good, because you're stuck with us now." "Humanity has a saying," Aliana mused, "about home not being a place but the people you love." "Yeah, that's about right." Aliana smiled, her golden eyes reflecting the starlight. Once she had been a weapon. Now she was something far more powerful, a mother, a wife, a woman who had chosen mercy over might and found redemption in the most unlikely place. The exile had finally come home. The end.